Hello, everyone, and welcome to Yoga Between Breaths, exploring the wisdom of yoga beyond the mat. I'm Tanys Coughlan from the Twillow Lifestyle Community, Twillow Lifestyle Academy, and I am joined by Jacqueline Richards. Welcome, Jacqueline. She is a yogini, the wealthy yogini extraordinaire. You know.
You cheeky devil. And that's exactly when I'm not just a yogi. I'm the wealthy yogini. And I love talking to people about all things on and off the mat.
Yes.
When we think about yoga, we think the collective we says, oh, it's got to be on the mat. There's so much more to it. And that's why Tanys and I are here. We want to have a conversation with you to let you know there's so much more.
Mm-hmm.
And so in this episode, as I take a breath, I lift my shoulders, I take them back, and I release them down. And oh my gosh, what will I be talking about? Why breath matters.
It does matter.
Why breath matters.
Mm-hmm.
And Tanys, first I got to say, I love your shirt. I love the color of your shirt. It says so much about the chakra energies.
It's that sacral chakra.
It is. It is. I love it. So
we have the bottom in our clothing. We have the bottom three covered.
Because
really you have the red for root chakra. I have the sacral, and orange, and you have the yellow for the solar plexus.
We got it covered. You know, while you continue to hang out with us, we're going to go through all this wonderful notations and pauses in not just yoga, but the chakras. However, I did say that breath matters. Tanys, breath is talked about constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it so central in yoga?
Well, it's central in life, right? If we don't breathe, we don't live.
Don't even want to say it. Yeah.
Right? So breath is actually it is the essence of what is prana, right? Our energy. That is how we carry prana, our life force energy. It's also seen as the bridge between the body and the mind and spirit, because it bridges all of those. When we breathe, we're bridging, we're doing a physical action, but it's creating change at the mental emotional level as well as the spiritual level. And so it helps to create that bridge so that we can have a holistic experience, basically, right? So that we can tap into all of those levels of existence. So when breath becomes calm, the mind also follows, right? So that's having that holistic approach. Breath awareness also helps anchor us in the present moment because we're thinking about the breath. So when we're meditating, that breath is really important because we can focus on the breath. We're not focusing on what happened before or what's coming. So we're not in like shame and guilt, or we're not in like worry and anxiety. We're in the present moment, focusing on breathing in the breath with the energy and breathing out stuff that no longer serves us. So that conscious breathing also helps us to develop that inner awareness. Right? We often don't think about inner awareness, but that is something that is important for us to develop. We have to develop that, okay, I'm feeling this in my body. What is this telling me? Right? Or I'm noticing this. Like my knee is sore. What is this telling me? Why is it it's a message? It's our body giving us a message. And so the breath helps us to feel into that, and often will help us release that, because as we take a breath in, we're pulling in that energy, and as we release, we can release the tension in that area, and it allows us to be more aware, be more relaxed, more calm, all of that. So breath is super important. all of that.
Interesting. As you were talking about being aware of yourself, I recall you mentioning the woulda, shoulda, coulda
Yes.
that we do in life. And so I
Mhm.
know there's been other situation scenarios we've talked about that, where why don't we reverse engineer that one? And when you talked about, taking a breath, maybe it's a need that is feeling and needing some of your assistance. Maybe it's the small of the back. It's not a woulda, shoulda, coulda. It is at this moment in time, I will take that breath. I will breathe into that knee. I will breathe into that back. You'd be shocked at what it can do for you.
So let's talk about that. What does the breath do from the body's perspective? What does it do?
Yeah. So what you'll learn, if you haven't already learned it before, maybe you've taken your CPR, but you'll have that conversation when you come out and hang out with us at the 200-hour yoga certification. The breath,
Yeah.
it's the slow breathing activates the parasympathetic. There's a sympathetic and the parasympathetic system, and that is the nervous system. I'm sure many have heard about that system. Maybe you haven't taken a look at it a little deeper than you could, and that's all right. If you haven't gone out and asked questions, how would you know? Decide to know. The parasympathetic systems, our systems, help us digest, like literally digest our food, literally digest the negative thoughts that we may be holding on to, literally helps us digest.
Mm-hmm.
And so why not have that system, the nervous system, help us to relax and restore? Those are two R words that, wow, if we use them more often, we might have a little calmer, a little happier assistance in life. So relax and restore. Think when you're sitting or meditating. I know out there you're listening to us and you're saying, I already meditate, or I would love to know more about meditating.
Mm-hmm.
The breath allows you to lower your heart rate. If you haven't noticed, let's say you're coming to a red stoplight and you're going really fast and you've got to slow down. So here it is. I learned you pump the brakes to slow you down. You pump the brakes to slow you down. Consider using your body that way. Take a slow breath and allow the muscles to decompress so that you can come into a space that keeps you safe. Tanys talked about conscious breathing. It
Mm-hmm.
improves oxygen intake. Again, we've got athletes who are out there who understand what it is to have the oxygen come into the body. It's an absolute requirement, and for all of us, consider it. And I'm talking about athletes. We're all athletes. Just so you know, we're all athletes. And breath awareness can reduce anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety, that's an A word. That'd be great if we decided that it was no longer responsible for our minds and bodies. Let's take a peek at that, because that's what we will continue doing. Here now, we are exploring yoga beyond the mat, because movement and practices, breath work creates my favorite, rhythm and stability. Oh, I said an S word, stability. Oh, Tanys.
It's okay.
I said anxiety. Oh my gosh.
It's
Stability.
okay. Stability. That's what we're going for. So
Yeah,
stability, rhythm, calm, and all it takes is a breath.
that's it.
So the other thing that's cool about yoga is that there's many different kinds of breath. So when we start to get into more pranayama, which is the breath work
Yeah.
related, we start to be able to explore some of the other things that the breath can do, like changing our state of consciousness. So if we're really wanting to change that state of consciousness, using different breaths to do that. And there's some really fun ones. There's a bee breath.
Yeah.
That's fun. And we've spoken about the square breath already, but there's all different kinds. So,
Yes.
you learn all of those in the yoga teacher training that we're talking about. So please stay tuned. It's coming soon. We'd love to see you there to learn about yoga between the breaths, because it's not just about the asanas. It's not just about the exercise. It's a lifestyle
It
and a
is.
way of being. So, as we take a deep breath in, put our shoulders back. Jacqueline does this much better, but we're going to go with it. And deep breath in, shoulders back, and deep breath out as we relax and sit in the calm. Until next time, on Yoga Between Breaths.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Namaste.